Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us here today. My name is Jay Costa, and I serve as the Democratic Senator in the 43rd District and Democratic Leader, which includes where we're at today at Southside Riverfront Park. We're here today to deliver a message about boating safety and to ensuring that folks take the time to understand how important it is to properly boat here on our rivers in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. We have a number of folks who are here today that are going to join us. Certainly commissioners from the Fish and Boat Commission. We have the Waterway Conservation Officers and City of Pittsburgh's boat rescue and river rescue folks as well. But we're here today to really talk about delivering a message about boating, and particularly drinking and boating. Given some of the limitations now we have here this upcoming weekend and next couple of weeks with respect to use of alcohol, we think it's imperative to remind folks that despite the fact that you can't go get a drink in the bar, you should not be drinking and driving and operating a boat as well. That's one of the principal messages we want to deliver today, but also recognizing there's other ways in which we have to ensure that we have boating safety taking place here, making certain we have ample number of life preservers, etc. So I'm happy to be here as they have this conversation, and I'm going to call upon Tim Schafer. He'll be the next speaker as we go forward talking about some of these messages that we want to deliver for Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. Thank you. Tim?
Thanks, Senator Costa, and thanks to everybody for being here today on this gorgeous day in Pittsburgh. So my name's Tim Schafer. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, and thank you for joining us along the Monongahela River today. The Three Rivers was one of the most storied fishing and boating locations in all of Pennsylvania, really on all the East Coast, and we're happy to be here to take in the sights and to use this as a fitting backdrop to give you some very important messages heading into the 4th of July weekend. And I have to say that these messages don't just end with the 4th of July. The practices we'll be talking about today should be employed all year long when you're boating in Pittsburgh or anywhere else. Also like to recognize a few other people that will be making some remarks today. We'll have Fish and Boat Commissioner Rocco Ally, who serves the 2nd District of Southwestern Pennsylvania. John Mont, a member of our Boating Advisory Board. Waterways Conservation Officer Mike Johnson is probably the most recognizable person here to the boaters that are viewing. He spends countless hours patrolling the region and knows these waters better than anyone else. Thank you to the City of Pittsburgh, Mayor Bill Peduto, and the city's Public Safety Department, especially the members of River Rescue who are here today to help us to deliver this message. This property, thanks to the great partnership between the city, private conservation organizations, and state government agencies, is a prime example of how Pennsylvania's urban areas can offer some of the most unique fishing and boating opportunities around. Helping to develop more public access and education programs in places like this remains a major goal for the Commission. If there are any local governments that are listening to this today that are thinking, there's a spot in my borough or a spot in my township that I always thought would be great for a boat access or a place that could be improved, speak up. We'd love to help with you, love to help you develop something just like this. But again, the reason we're here today is because the 4th of July weekend is just about upon us. And while boating could be enjoyed year-round in Pennsylvania, 4th of July weekend really kicks off the boating season in a lot of places and is the heart of the boating season in others. We expect to see large numbers of anglers enjoying the waterways, fishing and boating. We want to see everybody having a good time, but they need to be safe and make good decisions. Again, that's why we're here today. We'll begin with the number one thing you need to keep in mind when you're on the water. Wear a life jacket. I have an inflatable life jacket on here. We've got a couple others we can display for you. That's the top thing that you can do to preserve your own safety and the safety on board your boat, of the folks on board your boat. Law requires that a life jacket be on board for everybody on your boat. Children ages 12 and under, and there'll be a lot of kids out of the water this weekend, children ages 12 and under must always wear a life jacket when aboard a boat less than 20 feet in length, and all canoes and kayaks and paddleboards. In 2019, we have 57 recreational boating accidents in Pennsylvania, unfortunately resulting in 8 fatalities. 7 of the 8 victims in 2019 were not wearing a life jacket. Year in and year out, we see about 80% of the boating fatalities are a result of people not wearing their life jackets. Life jackets must be U.S. Coast Guard approved and fit properly, and you can find out if they're Coast Guard approved by just looking on the inside. And when I say fit properly, they should be snug. They shouldn't be coming up over your head. If you hear those statistics and think that that could never happen to me, please think again. Just 6 days ago, we recorded our 6th fatality of 2020. 4 of the 6 victims this year were paddlers. 2 capsized from a canoe, 2 involved a kayak. In April, a 37-year-old man kayaking in the Delaware River in Bucks County capsized. He was not wearing a life jacket. Less than a week ago, a 24-year-old victim lost his life when he capsized the kayak on the Susquehanna River in Columbia. Again, not a life jacket in sight. In another case, not far from here, a 56-year-old kayaker in Armstrong County had a sudden cardiac arrest when paddling on a small pond. Went into the water and didn't make it. Again, was not wearing a life jacket. If you have a life jacket on and you have an incident like that, it may buy you some time for someone to get there, render assistance, and save a life. These are the kind of stories we're trying to prevent by being here today. It's no secret that in the wake of COVID-19, more Pennsylvanians than ever are getting outdoors and either discovering the water for the first time or rediscovering a pastime that they haven't tried for a while. As an agency, we've seen a dramatic increase in launch permits being sold this year, and we're hearing from sporting goods stores that they're selling out of kayaks. A great problem to have. We also know that when these first-time paddlers are on the water, some of them may have never been exposed to safety information. We encourage people to go onto our website, fishandboat.com, and take a basic boating course to get the basic information before you hit the water. Anyone needs that course if you're going to operate, if you're born after 1982 and operate a boat 25 horsepower or more. You also need to take that course if you operate any personal watercraft like a jet ski. So now I'm going to turn things over to WCO Johnson to give you some more tips to keep you safe on the water. Mike?
Thank you, Director Schafer. Good morning, everybody. I'm Officer Mike Johnson, Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. From fishermen on bass boats, kayakers enjoying paddling, pontoon boat operators, jet skiers, power boaters pulling a wakeboard, the water belongs to all of us to enjoy. And I'm also out there. While officers don't set out every day to break up a good time, our responsibility is to make sure everybody remains safe. Please never boat under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Simply put, boating while impaired increases the chance for an accident. Just like operating a motor vehicle on a roadway, Pennsylvania, a person operating a boat on the Commonwealth waterways, the legal limit is 0.08 blood alcohol concentration. Alcohol affects balance, coordination, and judgment. BUI penalties include loss of boating privileges, significant fines, and imprisonment. This holiday weekend, from July 3rd to July 5th, Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission will participate in a nationwide effort called Operation Dry Water. This nationally coordinated effort aims to prevent boating accidents and fatalities through education and enhanced BUI enforcement. If you plan to drink as part of your holiday celebration on the water, please choose a designated boat operator. Please note that alcohol is prohibited at all Fish and Boat Commission lakes as well as Pennsylvania state parks. Now, I'd like to welcome Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commissioner Rocco Ally. Sir?
Thank you, Officer Johnson and Director Schafer. Welcome, guests. As we prepare to celebrate this Independence Day weekend, this Three Rivers area will be bustling with activity. I look forward to sharing the water with many friends, old and new, and expect that we can all help each other stay safe out there by offering another important reminder. When you're out on the water, have a float plan. Send a text, write a note to someone to let them know where you are planning to boat and when you expect to return. Plans can change quickly whenever we're out having fun, but keeping someone aware of your location throughout the day can ensure that help arrives quickly if you should experience a mechanical or medical emergency while on the water. Another important thing to keep in mind is when you're out on the water, carry a dry bag in which to keep your cell phone and other valuables while boating. Always map out where you'll be putting in and taking out. Be aware of any dams along the water trail that you may travel, and pay particular attention to posted warnings along the way. At this point, I'd like to welcome Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission Boating Advisory Board member John Mont to round out our safety message. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is John Mont, and I'm a member of the Boating Advisory Board. As we know, there's a reason why Pennsylvanians love to fish and boat in the summer. It's beautiful. Most days we've got blue skies and hot sun, and a day spent on the cool waters help us unwind and enjoy the natural resources around us. But don't be fooled. Things can get nasty very quickly. That's why it's important to always check the weather forecast before and during each boating trip. Summer's fast-moving storms can cause water levels to rise quickly and become dangerous. High water conditions can affect visibility and hide submerged obstacles such as logs and rocks that would cause you to capsize. We tend to lose track of time when we're having fun on the water, so be sure and check the radar on your smartphone or just place a call to a friend who can let you know if there was bad weather on the way. The last place you want to be during a severe thunderstorm is bouncing around in a boat. If you even suspect that bad weather is coming, head for shore and wait things out. You will live to boat another day. As we prepare for one of the busiest boating weekends of the summer, I look forward to sharing the water with you, and please boat safely. Now I'll hand things back to Director Schafer to conclude our comments. Thank you.
So thanks, John. We hope those tips will be helpful to everybody who's watching today. Reminder, it's a great time to get out, have a good time, but please be safe when you're on the water. As we leave here today, we encourage you to take a look at our website, fishandboat.com, or our mobile app, FishBoatPA, which has maps to lots of different places where you can fish and boat in Pennsylvania. We have maps that with a Near Me feature where you can find boat ramps 5, 10, 15, 25 miles from where you live. If you don't know where to go, it's a great place to start for information. You can also learn about where to go for fishing tips. We have a list of Pennsylvania's best fishing waters. We all know about the 3 rivers, but there are places throughout southwestern Pennsylvania that will be a wonderful place to spend your Independence Day weekend. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions. Again, we have our staff here. We have River Rescue from Pittsburgh. Senator Costa, thank you again for hosting us today. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Where is alcohol allowed on, I heard you say no alcohol in state parks, but can you go over that?
Sure. If Officer Johnson, if you had a question about alcohol use.
Where is it permitted?
Yes, ma'am. Well, alcohol is permitted on waters of the Commonwealth. Waters of the Commonwealth, like you see right here, you can have alcohol on a boat. Unlike Title 75, the Motor Vehicle Code, the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission Code does not prohibit open containers on a boat. Now, we realize people recreate, but we want them to recreate responsibly. So yes, even though alcohol is not prohibited from being on a boat, you can have open containers. We really just stress that people do it responsibly. Now, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, well my question is, how do you spot an intoxicated or a boater who is using some sort of substance or under the effects?
Great question. If we interact with a boat, we will only interact with a boat for a probable cause stop or a reasonable suspicion, meaning there's something going on. We see a violation. Our officers Start again?
Yeah, just
No, I got it.
your officers.
Our officers are highly trained in being able to detect impairment, not only alcohol impairment. Most of us have been through an advanced training called A-RIDE, to where we can spot individuals under the influence of drugs also, which is also becoming an issue out on the water.
Can I ask you, what is the top things that an impaired boater is likely to do when impaired?
I don't think I can put a number one, a finger on number one, but you will see a loss of inhibition, just like you'll see when somebody's at your house for a holiday and they have too much. You'll see persons traveling down the river at full speed and having a person on the bow, which is a violation of the Fish and Boat Code. It's also very dangerous. That can be something that may be impairment because the operator is not paying attention to his passengers. The passengers are all over the boat. So yeah, there's not a number one, but you'll see certain behaviors, and not being able to control your passengers is definitely a behavior.
But you can also be cited for something and not be impaired, correct? I mean, there's
Oh,
other
sure.
violations.
Yeah, the Fish and Boat Code has various regulations that we enforce to make the water safe. If we see a violation, and it could be as simple as something as simple as a registration violation, we'll interact with that boat operator. We'll make sure they have all the proper safety equipment. And if they don't have certain safety equipment items, yes, they can very well easily be cited for that. We take that very seriously.